So we've got a client that makes poured resin pens, and look how cool that is. I mean, really awesome job done by him. He wants us to laser engrave with the fiber laser. So we did a test, and unfortunately we can't engrave through resin as it goes through the clear coat onto the wood and creates mottling. I don't know if you guys can see that, but unfortunately it didn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to laser engrave on the clip of the pen. It's going to be quite a challenge, but I'm sure the fiber laser can deal with it. So let's get cracking. Alright, so our client has given us artwork that he wants done on the pen. As you can see here, it's a quill, which is his signature icon, and that's what we're going to attempt to engrave on the clip of the pen. So all I have to do now, as you can see, I've already imported the image into AR, and what we're going to do is we're going to image trace this as a 3-color sector, due to the fact that if you image trace default, and you can see here that there's different colors in this, but now when you image trace as a default, you'll see that all the texture is gone and it just takes the main outline of the artwork. So what we're going to do is we're going to undo that. We're going to go image trace, and we're going to choose 3 colors, because as you can see in the artwork, we've got 3 colors here. So once we do that and let the AR do its thing, now once that's done, we have to expand this image, choose our magic wand tool, click on the white background and delete that. Now as you can see, each and individual part is its own entity, and all we're going to do now is save this as a DXF. So the reason we save it as a DXF file is because LabelMark recognizes that file format for artwork to be registered and for it to work correctly through the fiber laser that AM.CO.za provides us. It is a vectorized file, so when we import it into LabelMark, you'll see that I'll import it as a vector file, but it registers it as a DXF. So now we just got to measure the clip of the pen so we can get the correct sizing for the fiber laser to engrave. So the thickness of the clip is going to be 5 mils, so we're going to engrave that at 3 mils, and we're going to make it 5 mils tall. We're going to go 3 here and 5 here, and application. As you can see, that's very small, very, very small. For the settings for this quill, we're going to have it for now at a loop count of 1 and 1000 mils per second. We're going to keep it at 75% power, and we'll leave it at 30 frequency kilohertz. And then we haven't hatched this as of yet. I might want to not have it hatched, just depending on how it looks once we're done hatching it. So obviously you can see there's a lot of lines. That's now obviously the gapping between each laser pass, and that you'll find once you press hatch, you can see here it's 0.1 millimeters. So obviously our pen's 3 mils, now it's 0.1 mil each line. So I don't actually want to hatch this, so we're going to leave it unhatched and see how that comes out. So right, now we've got the sizing done, I'm going to set the fiber laser for its correct height and that to focus the laser for the correct engraving depth. Okay, so now that the laser is focused, what we're going to do is now go back to LabelMark's program. We're going to frame it so we know exactly where it's going to engrave. Once then we can make our small adjustments, and then we can start engraving. Okay, so now as you can see that our marking is to the right of the pen, so obviously we're going to have to adjust that to exactly where we want it. I'm just going to get a bit closer so we can see exactly where it is going to be. As you can see, it's quite small. I want it to be a little bit up. I'm happy with the way it's set up. Let's get to engraving. Alright, so that came out fairly well. But what we're going to do before we hand it over to the client is we're going to add one on top of the pen, just so he has an option of on the clip or on top of the pen, so that the client has a choice on a decision to have it on the front or the top, and once he confirms we can go into mass production. Okay, so now the fact that this is going to be standing upright, I've just used one of these 2 bars that comes with the fiber laser from AM, and obviously these Allen key screws can slide into any one of these things here and tighten down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide the pen into one of these holes, turn the laser on, make sure that it's framed up right to the top of the pen, and then we can get to fibering the top of the pen. Alright, so I think this came out much nicer than the front of the clip, but at the end of the day, it is the client's decision, and to be honest, the fine detail that is required and the small area that is required, the fiber laser from AM.CO can definitely get the job done.